The clubs are all empty, everybody stay home. It's just the music and me, and we're quite fine on our own. Oh, nobody's watching, nobody cares. They're all glued to the news, overdosed on current affairs. I think I'll work on my moves and keep you all in my prayers. Prayers, prayers.
What's going on, everybody? Whoa, wow, that is, woohoo, that is hot. What is going on, everybody? How's it going? This is the local show, and this is the social distance dance by Mint Dolphin, everybody. They are a local band from Santa Barbara, and they give me some good vibes, but you know who's giving me good vibes right now? It's Joe, everybody. It's Joe. And
Hi.
his mic is on now. There we go. Our producer's on it. And there's Shayna.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
I want to be the one giving you the good vibes. Why does Joe get to give the good vibes?
I got vibes. There's enough vibes to go around
He's got
here.
vibes. I mean, like, you know, he's Joe,
I'm vibing.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But yeah, this reminds me of like Fisher Spooner and Depeche Mode. It's
Yeah.
really good.
It's cool.
This is a really cool song.
It's an interesting vibe. I recently discovered them. Sarah Havid with Lion City Management told me about these guys. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
Mint Dolphin, you say?
Mint Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Yes.
Cool. I like it. Not that my opinion matters, but
Yeah.
I'm vibing.
You're
on-
vibing with it, and that's all that matters.
Dolphins are cool, and I am a big fan of mint.
Mints are good.
I have some right here.
Yeah.
actually, so.
I'm glad they didn't call themselves Altoid Dolphin. That would be weird.
No, because
That-
then you
that
get in
just be
trouble.
so
Yeah,
weird.
you get
Oh my
like a
gosh.
copyright thing, and it's just, it's not good.
Dolphins are known for getting in trouble in general.
Are
so-
they?
Oh yes. Yeah.
What did dolphins do?
Things that we
Joe's
can't
our animal expert,
about,
everybody. He's
He's the Jack Hanna of the show.
he is he brings animals on.
Yes.
Well,
Or he talks about them.
He
at
talks
least.
about them a lot,
We
but-
haven't yet set him up to actually bring the animals on
Right.
the show. That's coming this summer.
that's coming this summer, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh shoot. I would really like this segment with animals.
So what's the story on dolphins?
Well,
Yeah, we
they're
gotta know. We gotta
highly sexual creatures. And,
Oh,
yeah.
How do you know this, Joe?
I love animals and I read a lot about them.
Oh, you do.
He hangs out with Chris D'Elia a lot, I think.
Oh my God. Oh, what was that bit, Chris?
He had
did
some
something
dolphin
about,
thing. Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's right. He did a whole dolphin thing.
No one talks about
He-
Chris D'Elia anymore.
Well, he did
So-
the dolphin thing before he did the teenager thing. So now he's canceled.
There you go.
Oh, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut then. You Google your own damn dolphin things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but they're pretty wild. They're like the
Interesting.
they're very polyamorous and they
Really?
don't take no for an answer.
See, you learn something new every day on the
So-
local show.
So
Twice a week.
are they interspecies or are they just they stick with dolphins?
There is a large data point set points that indicate that human divers have encountered them in ways that they said no to. And
Oh wow,
yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So no means no, even with dolphins.
Well, I
think
don't
it's
think
like-
the dolphins actually know that.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
That's more like a goat.
Yeah,
That's
I
more a
don't-
goat than
I
a
don't think
dolphin.
that was a dolphin. You need to work on your dolphin.
I'm gonna need him to work on my dolphin calls, ladies and gentlemen. But Joe, how was your weekend? It's Tuesday, everybody. This is our
Let's
14th
please-
show.
Let's change the subject.
Yeah,
What
please.
day is
This
it,
is a
man?
good segue
It's
to change the
Tuesday?
show really quick.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, my weekend was really busy, and I'm thankful for it. I was
good.
playing all over the place with the guitar, and then I worked in I pulled like a 20-hour shift yesterday. I did 2 gigs, different places, and then I went to the studio and like played a bunch of music for
Nice.
the TV show I'm working on,
Yeah.
and then I slept till like 8.
You got sleep?
Like
What's
4 hours,
that?
and then I woke up and kept working on the music.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
you're a workhorse.
I walked the dog too.
You have such a fascinating life, Joe.
Yeah, it's
I know.
really.
We all want to be like Joe.
Yeah,
one day.
that's what you want to be.
Our
yeah.
lives are so boring.
Yeah, we didn't do anything this weekend.
That sounds so
that's-
good.
I kind
Wanna
of
trade?
worked.
Yeah.
I worked a little bit, but that was about it. And my work ethic is just terrible.
Is that what you call playing video games?
I have work friends that are probably watching. Okay.
Brian discovered a new video game.
Oh, the new video game of the year, ladies and gentlemen, is MLB The Show 21. If you haven't gotten it, you got to get it, because my favorite thing to do now is watch YouTubers create a character, and they go all the way to they have the weirdest characters. This one guy, he created a 5'5" baseball player named Baby Yoda.
That's
And
cool.
he just destroyed this guy's face to look like a Baby Yoda. And all of his accessories were green, and it was fascinating just to see him try to make it to the big leagues.
Dang. So you can make your own character, but then you gotta like work him.
You gotta advance it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh. You don't just
it's
get
really-
signed right away. Like
No, you got to go through AA and then AAA, and then
So this is how
our guest tonight is a big fan of baseball, though.
Yeah. So just real quick, this is how I discovered Brian was playing a new video game, because I walked by his office and I heard in this announcer voice welcoming Brian Ferguson to the plate. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
What is going on?
right.
And I'm like, I was
That's
like,
right.
what?
They know how to
And he's-
say my name.
He's,
Yes.
he's got this guy playing on the screen, playing baseball.
Looks like looks
has
just like me. Yeah.
The same beard, looks just like same body type and everything. He
Whoa.
says
He's a little bit
Ferguson
more
on the
fit.
back.
He doesn't have a dad bod,
you
and he's not 32 like we all are.
Oh right, yeah.
We
the
all
on-
are 32.
The only thing missing was the sleeve of tattoos. So, but other than that,
Yeah.
it was pretty spot on.
Dang. Well, baseball you can have a dad bod. Like that's one of
He
the
used to be able to
pro
like
sports.
Babe Ruth, and
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
That's one of the few. I think that's one of the few sports where you have to kind of, there's few sports. Bill Burr mentioned this on his recent podcast, because that's what we're talking about tonight is comedians. The Monday Morning Podcast, everybody. You got to check that out. But yeah, he was complimenting golf and bowling for not having to be in shape. And look, those are the best, out of shape sports to play.
Nice.
It's golf and
Yeah.
bowling, and I gotta agree. Like nothing else. Maybe frolf. Yeah,
Oh, what's that?
it's frisbee golf.
Oh, that sounds very hard.
It's really fascinating if you get into it. There's a lot of YouTube videos. I finished, ladies and gentlemen, I finished YouTube last year, so I am an expert in all things YouTube, and frisbee golf is the thing.
Cool. I'll hit you up. I got some questions about epidemiology.
Well, you know who is? Do you know who is in the field of that kind of thing?
No.
Our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, local comedian and goddamn professional. He showed up so early and so on time. We gotta please give a big local show welcome to Artie Lopez, everybody. Artie, what is going on?
Hey, Artie.
I made it. How's everybody?
Oh man, we are so
Hi, Artie.
excited to have you.
Dude, I'm pumped. You guys are talking about baseball. You guys are talking about animal fetishes. You know what? I'm hard. Let's get the ball rolling.
I didn't say
We're checking all your
fetish.
boxes, and we just started.
Well, yeah, this is going to be a long interview then, sir.
Oh, boy. You said fetish, man. I did not say that.
I'm sorry. No,
For
you're
the
right.
record.
You had
Animal,
Joe at
you know,
fetish.
Sex just got me excited. Joe, you live a great life.
Hey,
You
yeah,
live a
you
great
know.
life.
Yeah.
Oh man, so
boy.
where are you joining us from tonight, sir?
I am joining us from the great Papa Bear's bedroom. I'm just over here at my house. Things are going good over here at the Papa Bear residence, and just tuning in. Glad to be here.
I'm going to make a quick editing call right now and switch this really quick because that is not the right one there. And we're just going to go there, and there he is in the full flesh on the
There he is.
local show.
There he
Okay,
is.
everybody, now we got it
You
going.
guys, already fixed his hair.
I
and
know.
Brian
Oh,
fixed the video frame.
Damn, we are
my
so
job
good.
is so stressful. There's times where it's either on this side, it's on the other side. Either way, it's not really a good look. And I'm so thankful for these masks. So
Yeah.
it helps me out a lot.
So I gotta. Okay, so you are joining us from Hollywood area.
Oxnard.
You're from
Ventura County.
You are.
That's
you are
redneck
local.
Hollywood.
I'm local, babies. Local.
Yeah.
That's why he's on the local show. Brian.
Oh, that's right.
Duh.
Well, I just assume all comedians are living in Hollywood now because
That's right.
That's where all the shows are now, and there's nothing out here yet. But I do hear promising things because you have a show this weekend with it's Jeremiah Watkins.
The one and only.
The one and only
Jeremiah Watkins.
And who else is on that bill? There's
you got Jake Gallo.
Jake Gallo's on there. We had him on the show.
right.
He's so good. Such a great, funny man.
He's a great role model. Great role model for father figures all out there.
Yeah, totally. He
Cracks me up.
he gets stoned with his nana. We proved that in a clip that we posted online.
I believe that was, if you want to look that up, that's Getting Stoned with Nana, Volume 6.
Yeah, there's
the name of that clip.
There's volumes.
Yes.
There's volumes of that. How long have you lived in the area? Are you born?
I lived here my whole life, and then doing comedy wise, I kind of ventured out to LA for a year or so, and then I've kind of been doing a lot more here in Ventura County.
Nice. And you've been around the comedy scene about 4 or 5 years, I think, right?
Yeah, 5 years is when I first started. In college, I would kind of sneak off from baseball practice to go try to catch the Laugh Factory when I was in school in Long Beach. And I would try to sneak off and try to catch the last open mic slots that were available. And it usually never worked. I had to get like a fake ID, had to get to know the bouncer. It was a shit show, But eventually, towards the end of the year, a guy let me go on a couple times. And that's where I kind of got the itch to be like, you know what, I think I can do this. I want to see how this runs. And I started doing open mics like in college. I got the local coffee shop, and I would just kind of invite classmates to come check it out. And yeah, it just turned from one little person that came out. The next it's like a group of people, and it's been it's traveled, man. I'm very fortunate.
That's great. What was your first set like as an open micer? I gotta know.
It's usually it's always horrible because you don't know
of course it is.
what's gonna hit, and it's kind of like talking sex with like your friends, and you're like you've never had sex though. It's like yeah, but listen, I'm gonna get there, and when you do get there, it's great, but your first couple minutes is usually nonsense sometimes because it's like you're so excited, you're anxious. You like even repeat jokes. You don't even think because you're like, well, I didn't hear a laugh. Maybe it's because they didn't hear me. And you're like, no, that's definitely not it. They heard you. You got a microphone. So that's like a long time to get out of that. I feel like my first year of comedy was just eat a lot of bag of dicks. Just eating them nonstop and then asking for more.
Lots
Delicious.
of bags.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bags. Yeah.
That is.
Wow. What was your first professional gig where you got paid? I'd love to know that.
It's rewarding, because you hang out and you eventually try to get to know certain parts of the scene and certain shows that are booking shows, but not just bringer shows. You don't want to do that right off the bat. And when you finally get paid for your first real gig, I mean, there's nothing really like it. I mean, you kind of look back at the set and you're like, was it even worth, that X amount of dollars or and you kind of it's still kind of happening now where even now I'm able to kind of ask for money and be like, hey, is there any way I can get paid for this show? And usually they're like, oh, absolutely, yeah, we were gonna do that. But sometimes it's just getting to that level of comedy where you're like, hey, I can actually afford to kind of get some cash out of it now.
Yeah,
but it's been a while. It's a long time coming. Sometimes it takes forever to get there, but
yeah,
I'm glad it's been happening really well for me.
That's great.
So is it a scenario where if you don't ask to get paid that you just won't get paid, or if you bring it up they're like, oh yeah, we'll pay you?
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, yeah, usually it just depends on if they're like charging for tickets, and if they're charging tickets and like sometimes they're not charging tickets, sometimes they'll just give you like free beers and pizza or something.
Nice.
Or hey, we got you drinks all night. And there really is just like, all right, well, if I can try to grab some people to come out to watch me specifically, once that kind of thing happens, it turns into, a good thing where you're like, all right, other comics start to notice, hey, not only is this guy really working hard, but he's got a crowd that follows him. And that means maybe we could kind of start throwing them some nickels and dimes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting. We actually recently watched the Comedy Store documentary on HBO, and
Right.
something that really stuck out to me is how kind of back in the 70s, like when the store opened, on how it just wasn't widely accepted that you actually would pay a comedian
Absolutely.
to do
yeah.
stand up, and kind of how Mitzi Shore really kind of paved the way for comedians to get paid. She was one of the first clubs to actually pay them.
Yeah.
Right. And even now, it's not like you're getting enough to like pay your salary. No, it's just you're getting more from exposure there, and but usually a lot of the times it just depends on the location. And if it's a good show and people want you back, it's always nice to kind of have that extra bread in your pocket. But now you can kind of afford to be like, hey, I think I'm putting on good shows here. You think I can get some extra bucks, maybe even gas money, and usually it's like, all right, yeah, we can definitely do that.
Wow. And you are, so the gig that you're playing this Saturday is at Gigi's.
Gigi's Cocktail Lounge in Ventura,
In Ventura.
or Montalvo area. We've been there for about 3 years.
Nice.
I've ran the open mic there, and we also do like book shows. We've had guys like Jimmy Kennedy come through. Just random comics, but also some heavy hitters as well, and that's kind of expanded more. Like during the pandemic, we were able to do outdoor shows, and we didn't really have a lot of locations. We didn't have that many spots. So we went from Gigi's being like an open mic to not having anything. So we decided to kind of create our own show. And we did that with, it was called Jokes in the Outfield. And we've had some great headliners there.
Jake was on that.
And, Jake was my co-producer on that,
Yeah.
and we're like where I live. There's like a baseball park right across the street. And
Yeah.
the street lights are always on, hitting it perfectly. And it's like, all right, all we need is just a plug-in. We got free lighting, we got parking for days. Who the heck's gonna complain about a show park or a park in the show? Let's do it. And it literally took like a weekend. We just kind of put it together, and it just ballooned. It just took off on us. So it was pretty awesome.
Cool.
And you guys had a show at the Pizza Chief with Sam Tripoli about, I think, a month ago, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
A month ago, early April.
That's right. That's when we
Or late March, I
We
believe.
checked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it was a great show.
That was a really
To
good
get
show.
guys, to get guys like to come out there, it's more of I think Ventura sells itself, and like Ventura County, everywhere down here, everybody, we have a good time. Our crowds aren't crazy, or they're not like really stuck up in. I guess just like you say the wrong thing, we're not going to crucify you for it. We're
Yeah.
real easy. We're easy going town, and he kind of. He's around with like a lot of big comics, and it's just all you have to do is mention, hey, you want to come do a show down here in Ventura, and they're usually for it. We were very fortunate to grab guys like Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan came down to Ventura as well.
Neil's great, yeah.
And he's a great guy, and to get like big fish like that to come check out little old Ventura County, it's like, dude, that's awesome. And I think we're kind of making some headway. People are eventually going to see it as a good spot to come chill and eat, but not only that, have some good comedy.
Yeah.
So when you do get some of those guys that are more headliners, to kind of get out of the LA scene and Orange County scene to come down here, do they kind of see Ventura as maybe like someplace where they like work out some new material? Is that kind of how they see that, or do they kind of take us more seriously?
I've
always wondered
both
that.
ways. Like you can take it serious, but usually when they're working on longer time, it's usually like a free for all and fine tuning, and they're usually just trying to see what sticks. And then usually, depending on, like with Neil, he did a full hour, and to see him like the next week or the week after, I was like, dude, those are all just tightened up jokes that he was putting on, but you could tell he was working the process. And so it's kind of a workout, but at the same time, it's it's a fine polishing as well, as I would call it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I guess it was about a year and a half ago, kind of before the pandemic.
Oh, we saw the pandemical.
The pandemical.
The pandemical, as Dice likes to say.
That's exactly who I was going to mention.
I know.
We read my mind. We saw Dice over at Levity. And,
Right. Okay.
A big headliner like that, some guy who's been in the business forever. You would think that the people who go to attend that show, they're going to be like really super fans and everything. And it was, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but we sat there in the audience and we were like one of the only ones laughing. I felt like
dying
nobody,
the whole time.
Nobody like they didn't get his jokes. Nobody was laughing.
It was an older crowd.
It was a weird mix because there was like older, but there was also like younger. It's like maybe they didn't.
They did. They were like right in the front row too, and
like
they were
they
just
didn't know him.
not laughing at all.
See, I got lucky. I got a chance to see him in Thousand Oaks. I believe it was at Borderline.
Really?
And he did a show in Borderline. To see him come out and rock and roll, it was as if things haven't changed. It's Andrew Dice. He pulled the cigarette over his head, and I mean, he's still got all the moves. But that was another thing too. I noticed some of the age difference were like, I know this guy, but I don't know if I've seen him on movies or I feel like some of these kids need to get.
He's great in A Star Is Born,
Exactly, but I think they need to get educated on a lot of that stuff just because it's like, man, you're missing out on some golden comedy here. This is the guy that came in and then really, kind of took his spot from anybody at the Comedy Store, and it was well deserved because it's Andrew Dice Clay, baby. He's the man.
Yeah. He's such a force.
Yeah,
He was.
I have to commend him. He's kept reinventing himself through the years.
Which is tough, yeah.
For somebody like that. And, he's very, I don't know, his character to me. So
His character is great now
It
because he
really
is like
is.
this senile, old, tough
Old
guy.
guy that like he just exactly.
I love it. It's so
you
good.
expect it more from him. Yeah.
I'm a huge comedy nerd, so this just like we saw him and we drove to Arizona to see him.
yes,
During the pandemic.
October, we were really like missing comedy. And I was like, okay, Arizona has got comedy now. The roller skating rinks are open. We're gonna drive to Phoenix. We're gonna go see comedy, and we're gonna go roller skating.
And that's what we did.
And we did. And we saw Dice at
pretty cool.
Was it Rick Bronson's? I think
Rick Bronson.
I think that's what it was.
He's a local out there.
It was an interesting comedy club. It was kind of in almost like in a residential area.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Okay. Yeah.
You know which one? But obviously, because it was the pandemic, there was fewer people, which was actually kind of great. And so everybody was spaced out. But the crazy part is that
Didn't cost that much more, though.
it really didn't. But Dice was standing behind like a plexiglass wall.
Yeah, it was like a drummer's.
Oh,
it was like a
yeah.
big drummer's,
Yes.
thing
Gosh.
that's right in front.
Takes away from the show. Did you think it took away from the show at all? Him being behind the glass? I mean,
Some people made fun of it. I mean,
He
Yeah.
kind of did too.
he made fun of it. Yeah.
He would like walk up
Okay.
to it and like push on it and like knock and I think it went.
What a
He
professional.
didn't. He got almost to the point where he was gonna like smear his face on it like a kid would. But I think he did the best he could with it. But we were so starved for comedy, we didn't care.
Yeah, the last show that we saw was actually Kill Tony out here.
oh, nice.
That's
nice.
right.
It was out here in I forgot what place that was. That
was at the winery.
It was the winery, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
were you
Yeah.
there, Artie?
Yeah, I went to go check that one out. That was
Oh, wow.
a pretty good show. I was on the first one when he first came into town at the Hong Kong Inn.
Yeah.
And when I heard he was going to come back, I was like, all right, I'm going to try it again.
Yeah.
on. But
I got
it's
I
a
don't
hot
think you were
ticket.
on stage on this last one, were you?
No, not the new one, or not the new one that just came out. Unfortunately, I'm very thankful I wasn't on there. I mean, he knows how to break you down, huh? He
Yes.
knows how to bring up some stuff from high school
Oh
or
my
just
God.
things that you just thought
Yeah.
had shut behind a door.
he's a professional.
And he knows how to do it.
But
He
you
knows
know
how
what?
To have you go home pissed.
I gotta interject here and show you this. We got a question from your co-host that's coming up, Jeremiah Watkins. He had a question that I think we need an update on. Let's check this out really quick.
Devin.
Yeah, have you ever, taking care of old people, have you ever had somebody older ever come on to you while you're at work?
Good question. You ever been wiping somebody's ass and they're like, "Hey, Artie,
No, not yet.
I think you missed a spot.
This went on for like minutes.
That's your vagina.
Oh yeah, no, there's some poop up there. Wipe it again. You put the toilet paper away. Just go for it, Artie.
They were way
Yeah,
too rude to
might
you.
have a
I gotta
DUI.
say
You
before
ever
this.
have HPV? Huh?
Oh my God.
Now, okay, so yeah,
Oh, man.
what was going on? Okay, I know you went a little long.
Good job, Brian.
and
You
that's
made a
fine.
comedian laugh. Good job.
No, it's fine. you went a little long, and that's fine. Some people lose track of time when they're in that zone, and this was, a couple years in just to your stand-up career. I mean, the whole crowd, it looks like they were pulling for you, and it doesn't look like they were laughing at you. They were trying to laugh with you and just make sure that you look like, because you were very sincere up there, and it just broke my heart to see like just how mean they were at some points.
When it after you hear every comic that was there was just like, man, like they.
It was a little brutal.
Gives me like, hey man, don't keep your head up.
Don't worry about that shit.
I thought they were a little like rough, and I knew that's like the premise of their show and stuff, but they have some things, or they said some things even then that I still think about now, where I'm like, you know what?
Really?
This is how you got to overcome adversity and all the other stuff, and it happens. And it just so happened that it happened to be like, it was like a huge thing on YouTube, people could watch it, but it's not really all as big as like what it seems out.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It always seems like it just thinks like it's so big, and the next week you're kind of kicking the dog, and you're just like, it's just, like you think about it.
Yeah.
And I think it was literally like that next week, I was like, you just got to bounce back, man. And that happens. It happens in comedy. It will probably happen again.
Well, I can tell you're a very thoughtful guy, and you think about others a lot. And I'm the same way, where I just kind of take things, hard. When I was first starting out in a band, in my teenage years, and I took everything to heart. I was a teenager, but
you have a lot of passion for something.
When you have
passion comes out, it just comes out sometimes.
Exactly.
And it doesn't mean to happen, but. You just, I don't know. For me, I take it, and it's just one of those. You'll never forget it, but at the same time, is how can you come back even harder? And it just shows the kind of person you are. That's really all it's about. And you're going to see those guys again, and sure enough, we're booking them this weekend. So that's
the most enjoyable part. Is you and Jeremiah both have something in common. You probably won't be on Kill Tony anymore.
Probably not, and it's so funny. He's going off in his different direction.
He's doing great. He's doing really great.
He's doing great things, and I'm like, man, thank God they're not coming back to Ventura anytime soon. Thank God I don't got to see them anytime soon. Because I'm still working on a 1-minute joke. Because it's just that's how it just makes you work on your craft even harder. You have to have the heavy hitting jokes, and and to this day, it's just an example of one of them.
That's really could turn it into something better, but if you don't take yourself too seriously, and that's where you're going to get better at it. I think, right?
just like musicians or any craft. I mean, I've always thought comedians were the new rock stars, like since 2010, 2011. Totally. I thought, there's no more.
Well, my first gig as what was it? Oh shoot! Imagine So Happy Together. The Animals.
The Animals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I guess the 8th graders didn't like it at the 8th grade dance, and I got pelted.
The 8th graders.
Yeah, I was in 7th, I think, but it was an 8th grade dance.
Wow, was it
They
a
definitely
battle of the
didn't want to
bands
hear
or
from
something?
you.
No, it was my first gig.
Oh.
I had a band.
Did you get paid?
No.
Oh, of course. Well, you were like 10.
Yeah, well, however old you are in 7th
Were
grade.
you like at Anna Kappa Middle School?
It was Anna Kappa
Was
Middle
it?
School.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
my mom taught there, so I knew the principal, and I got the gig. And
oh wow,
we used to rehearse in the band room. But man, so we were playing this gig. It's our first gig ever for all of us, right?
Yeah.
And they pelt me during the oldies song with Dum Dum lollipops. I got hit in the head at least twice, like where it left like a mark, and they were just like throwing things at me.
Wow, you had a Blues Brothers incident way early.
Yeah. So I'm with you, man.
Holy
like
shit.
you got to get back on the horse and ride, Artie, because I could have been very discouraged. And now I'm 20 plus years into my career, and
well, you're doing.
I had a
great.
lot of other crazy stuff happen too. But if that had thrown me off, I probably wouldn't be here now.
But it toughens your skin.
Exactly.
It toughens your skin and lets you do some other things.
Yeah.
What
Well,
do you
now,
got?
I watched the entire Kill Tony episode, and what we didn't show in the clip is kind of how you said your job was a caregiver, which is an honorable job. So I think that them teasing you on that aspect, which is your job, which not everybody can do.
It's a hard thing to make fun of and make dark humor out of.
It really is. Yeah,
It is. It really is.
It made me mad at Tony for that.
They went a little. They crossed the threshold into stupidity, I think.
Well, I think there's dual meanings to the name of the show, Kill Tony. Some people think it's just,
right.
You really want to kill Tony because he's kind of being an asshole. And, then there's the other aspect you want to be funny.
Exactly. And I got to say, your buddy, Russell Samler, was on that show as well. And and you were actually on his podcast a couple weeks ago, kind of talking about this just a little bit, and he was kind of riffing on you a little bit there, trying to get your reaction and without playing the clip, of course. What has it been like being with like friends with comedians out in Ventura, like Russell and Jake, and there's Blaine Laramie out here as well.
Well, it's great. You always have these guys to shoot the shit with, but it's not like your typical coworkers. Like, these guys are thinking the same thing, or if not dirtier, and they got ways to put it into like magic. It's just like a magic sentence, and you're able to just die off it, even if it's for a couple minutes on the phone or just hanging out. It's always a good time. It's just one of those things where when you're hanging out with a comic, you're bound to laugh. But when you're hanging out with a group of them, it's like, man, you're going to have abs. You're probably going to have abs at the end of the week, if you just keep laughing so much.
What was your, okay, so, I mean, obviously you've been to a lot of comedy clubs also to see comedians as well. What was, I have a favorite dying moment in the audience. Do you have like a favorite dying moment backstage or in the audience?
That's tough. I mean, there was a couple spots, I would say, like in the Viper Room, that was more. I believe it was called the Viper Room down in Los Angeles.
Is that still there?
It's still there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We had Bobby Lee come in, and it was just one of those moments where I was on this random show, and this guy had a drop in. He was like, "Do you want to hop on?" I'm like, absolutely. And Bobby Lee comes in and he just drops his trowel and he goes, "Who's going first?"
Oh my God.
Type of thing. And like the way it's just one of those moments where you're laughing so hard that the people from the outside that are listening to the green room, they're like, "Wait, what the fuck is going on in there?"
Way.
I've been in that green room. It's really small too.
It's really small.
Yes.
It's kind of like you're sitting in like a bus almost, and you guys are all.
That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, it feels like you're going to jail almost. But
I was back there with Mickey Avalon once.
Mickey Avalon.
That's a whole nother story.
But it was a great room, and it was just one of those moments where I'll never forget it. It was like Margaret Cho.
Oh,
like
yeah?
drop
No
in,
way.
and you're like, what the? And she's like,
my
I left
God.
my car keys in the car. I left the meter on, and I'm up next. I have to go up next. If not, I can't go. I can't stay. And the guy was like, "Don't worry, we're just gonna boot you. We're gonna go up next. We'll get you on." And but to see her act so boss and just throw her car keys, and you're just like,
Wow.
wait, who is this? And she's like, "Forget it. It's in the car. Don't worry about it. Let's just get going."
Wow.
I'm like, well, what a boss. What a boss.
Damn.
That's
It was a
cool.
great show.
Do you know Ali Wong? I know she grew up
Ali
here.
Wong, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't really know her per se, but when you're doing a couple shows, you're gonna run across these couple comedians. You're gonna see them, and it's just more from like a distance. Like you see them over there, but it's never like you're gonna go up there and be like, "Hey, I run a show in Ventura. Would you like to come check us out?" I'm sure she would be down, but it's just usually right, like timing in place. You gotta figure out how to like be Joe Cool, but not be like the new kid where you're just running up and saying hi to everybody. There's like a code. It's like a cool kid code.
There's a comedian code.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you got to play that stuff cool. Don't make it awkward.
Yeah, exactly. So I was gonna say something too. Oh, the hardest I've ever laughed was in the main room at the Comedy Store, and this was Joey Diaz, main room, and doggy, and the air conditioner stopped working. This was in November.
No, this was actually in the original room.
Oh, it's the OG room.
The small room.
This is the original room where
the OR. Yes.
It's really tight, and when their air conditioner is not working, it's really hot.
It was so miserable. I remember that. Yes.
Plus with the lights and everything, it gets pretty hot.
Oh my God. So Joey went on, and he did not stop. Like, he was on 10. Like, I don't know what he took before the show, but he was just it was the best comedian boxing match I've ever seen. And I was in the aisle, and he, I guess he noticed that I was just dying, because he walks by me, and he puts his fist up to me as he's walking down the aisle back to the, the thing. And I'm just like in shock, just going like, oh my God, like this is the best moment of my life. Like I'm in a non-air conditioned room in the original room of the Comedy Store. And I just saw Joey Diaz absolutely sweating
covered
bullets,
in sweat, yes.
Just drenched.
Poor guy.
And it was the best moment of comedy I've ever seen, hands down.
No, he's one of the best, man. I don't know what it is, but when they're on and when they're crushing, there's nothing like it. When they acknowledge you too, you're like, you know what? I can die a happy man. That was it. I could die right now.
So who are your favorite comedians? I know you mentioned to Russell, you were talking about like.
Well, I like a lot more of like the older.
Yeah,
like,
Lenny Bruce.
I'm a huge Lenny Bruce fan.
Right.
Don Rickles.
Yeah.
Just more into like the physical,
the old
but
school
also just
comedy.
guys that are just old school and just rapid fire.
Yeah.
And it's something about that art where it's a little bit different now. Comedy could be more physical.
It's lost,
but it's lost a little bit. And these guys, the way they would try to perfect their jokes and write their jokes, it was like an everyday business. And it's just one of those things where writing is so important, but you kind of learn it. Like I learned it a lot just through those guys and just some of their books that they come up with. And it's just, it's phenomenal. It just makes you want to work harder, but what are you really doing to get better type of thing? And then are you writing every day? And you're going to go through a million jokes, but you have to write a million first. And it's just, it's probably one of the toughest things, but I like those guys a lot, just their craft and just how, dangerous they were on stage. They were risk takers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great to see up and coming comics with such caliber like yourself. I mean, you're so, I believe you're so genuine. It's hard to avoid. And it's great to see that you're into the old school, because that is what, like most of them, amazing comedians nowadays, like, Bill Burr, for example, he references Jerry Lewis like all the time in his vernacular, and it's just it's so great. And I think we need to honor our past and our our heritage, as far as like what entertainment you're kind of going into. I mean, I mentioned this every episode, but my dad was a radio DJ, and I didn't really want to do something like this to be like him, but it was kind of like forced on me by the lovely Shayna.
You have a radio voice. We can't waste it.
He totally does.
Right?
Well,
it's a crime if you don't use it. Use what you get.
Can't say no. You gotta just go with it, man.
Even when you're like thinking of words, you're like, it sounds good. And I just know just something about it. Something.
Right.
I think that's what
sometimes even my voice doesn't sound. It sounds a little quirky, but you got the voice for sure.
Right?
I love that too.
Thank you. I was gifted with that early on, and didn't like my voice for the longest time, and that was weird.
It's usually how it is.
Yeah.
It's usually how it is.
But now my dad passed away about 5 years ago, and it's one of those great things that kind of carries with you. Is I sometimes laugh and I hear his voice come out, and or I say
for sure.
I say a certain word, and it's just like, oh shit, like damn, like that's in my memories. Like that wasn't me. That was someone else. You know, Joe, have you ever had anything magical like that happen to you? Are you touched with magic, Joe?
He's touched with something.
I'm just trying to get him to react to something.
No. Yeah. Well,
Got
it's
Sleepy
funny.
Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe.
No, he got a lot of sleep.
No, I got sleep and I got my psych juice.
There you go.
Brought to you by Red Bull.
Yeah, this is sponsored by Red Bull.
Give me an endorsement, please. Yeah, hearing your voice is weird. Like, I get super cringy if I hear myself on like, a voicemail or something. Like, that's what I sound like.
Yeah.
Oh God. And then so I could imagine because my shield is my guitar and bass and stuff, right? Like that's my voice.
That was my shield for a long time. Yeah.
So when I hear, and this is why I'm the reluctant co-host, right? I try to quit like every week because this is not really what I do, right? And so when I hear my voice, it's very cringy. And then like you got the voice, it's amazing. And then Artie's that is what he does. He has to deliver, but audibly, and like that to me, or your father, or all these great comedians we're talking about. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so exposing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is. It's
nothing
it
to
really
hide
is.
behind at all.
No, I mean, I try to be authentic as possible, and I hope it, comes across the show as well. But
Well, at least you have a face for radio. So
we'll see. It's up to the judge and
these
jury
days,
at this point.
I know these days you have to have a face for podcasts.
Yeah, like we're all starting podcasts, and you have a podcast, Mr. Artie,
The
called
Blunt
Blunts.
Boys podcast.
Yeah, the Blunts
And-
Boys. Yeah, it's
and,
on Spotify.
Jake-
It's on everywhere. It's
tell us
part of the
about that.
Raging Bullshitter, right? Is that how the
That's right. We also have another one called Morning Sickness.
Morning
and that's,
Sickness with
That's
Jake
like
Gallo?
that's a segment with the Raging Bullshitter with Jake Gallo.
Yeah.
And that's phenomenal. I love that's probably the best way to start my day.
That's great.
I work out in urgent care.
Yeah.
And so we Jake and I always eat at the same donut spot because we both like just donuts. We also hate the morning, so we're always just pissed off at this donut shop in Camarillo. So we're like, you know what? Eventually, let's just put our heads together and use this positivity for greatness. And
That's
we
great.
started
That's fun.
Morning Sickness, and it's been a huge hit. We're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's so great. Wow.
What kind of topics do you talk about on your podcast?
Yeah.
It's majority of it's mainly baseball,
Mainly baseball,
and if not, we're talking about like comedy or the comedy scene here in Ventura County. It's really just things also so I feel like whatever's pissing Jake off that day or whatever's pissed off like bothering me, I think we're like, all right, you know what? What's the deal with packets? Like, when you go and ask for extra sauce from like a drive-through, what's the deal with them holding on to the sauce like it's goddamn money? Just give me
Right?
a handful of I need the ketchup, I need the honey, I need ranch, I need all your ranches. Just give it to me.
all your ranches.
Well,
And then you're so stingy with it.
And what's
that's
even
just
worse-
typically how it starts.
right? Well, what's even worse is when they look at you, when you ask for something, like, well, how many
Oh,
do
the
you need?
audacity.
I don't know.
I need 100.
I don't know how many squirts are
fuck
going to
yourself.
cover my sandwich. I mean, I
Just
just
keep putting handfuls until I say no more.
I just
keep
always say
putting more
6,
handfuls.
no matter what it is. I just say 6. And so sometimes they give me crazy looks. So I just say 6. I need 6.
At least you know what you want. Just let them know, man. I
One
swear,
sandwich.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Wow.
Huh. So you could start a whole show with Jake just based on like one kind of
riff.
pet peeve.
One
thing that you
topic.
That's
Give-
cool. Yeah.
One opening, Jake will fuck it up. He
And
just
go.
knows how to just stick his head in there.
He's like a wind-up
And
toy. Yeah.
It's the best. It's the best.
That's cool.
So you are a obvious baseball fan. What is your home team?
Let's go with the Dodgers. baby.
Dodgers,
Always
yes.
Bleed LA blue.
You gotta do it. And yeah.
Brian's also a fan.
I'm like the
Couldn't
only
tell from
other
our
baseball
intro.
fan. So I'm kind of alone on this. So we're gonna just kind of, move past that a little bit.
I like baseball too.
You like baseball?
I do.
Who's your team?
I gotta go Dodger blue.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
I
you gotta.
grew up going there. I played for like 9 years, but I played soccer about twice that long.
Oh wow.
But yeah,
Is that why you're so svelte?
my physique. I
always wanted to say that word, sorry.
Wow, Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm a soccer player. I was
a weird
okay.
word.
I was okay at baseball, but I was afraid of the ball, and I got moved up too
Me too.
soon. You know, like I was good, so I'd get moved up, and then you'd have these like teenagers throwing like 65-mile-an-hour fastballs. And I was like, I'm too little for this. Yeah. So I quit, but I love it, and I love watching the Dodgers, and I like any good game, but yeah, it's got to be Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going to go to a game this year, Artie?
You know, I was supposed to go last night with Jake to go watch the Reds play.
Oh yeah,
but,
he was in the right field seats.
He had seats, and I guess now you got to buy them in packs of 4, and so he bought an extra one. I was supposed to go, and I don't know what it is when you when you call your girlfriend, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go to the Dodger game, and the initial reaction should always be, have fun, take my credit card, take my
credit card.
You know, whatever, buy a dog, whatever it is what makes your little heart.
Right.
But instead I got, are you kidding me? We're making chai tip tonight. And she hung up the phone. So then I said to myself, it's probably not good. Then I go to this baseball game. But I'm going to catch the next one soon.
That's good.
I just decided to pull a smarter man move.
Hey,
to lay down next to her. So I'm not gonna piss her off just yet. But in the
next
playoffs,
time, just say you have to work late. No.
It's nuts. They know your schedule. They know everything nowadays. So even if you're like, I've got to work late, it's like, listen, you're not even a real X-ray tech. So let's just cut the bullshit here. And they're like, you're right. You're right. You're right.
What does that mean exactly? You're not a real X-ray tech.
Yeah.
Well,
I think he's still getting.
I decided during COVID that I got real tired of just. I was a caregiver for the longest time, and I love my job. I enjoyed it. I had great patients, and it was awesome. But I just thought it was time for me to try to level up, and I went into this urgent care, and they're like, we have all the physical therapy positions filled at the moment, but we are looking for an X-ray tech. Are you by chance in school for that? And I lied 100% and said, absolutely. And the woman was like, you know what? Let's see how this works. We're going to give you a test run for about a week. And I've been there now for almost 3 months. I didn't expect to be an X-ray tech right away.
That's great.
But it's just one of those things where I got on the job training. I'm there with another X-ray tech. Yeah. He's going to be quitting soon. So they're like, hey, we need you to finish up schooling. And to get in school right now to be an X-ray tech, it's about a 1.5 year waiting list.
Wow.
So I'm trying to figure out a way that I could either get into a school as soon as possible, or I'm going to have to go look for another urgent care. We'll see how that works out.
Wow. And you're in the Camarillo area?
Camarillo area. If you guys are ever in need of assistance, definitely do not go to this urgent care. Do not go to this urgent care.
Wow. Really?
That's the plug for the Camarillo. We're not going to say the hospital, but we're going to say
just don't go there.
The urgent care. Go to an ER.
What if
Well, I think that's where everybody just kind of figures out their job.
What if I needed an X-ray?
Yeah, Joe needs an X-ray of his.
Is that something that's extremely difficult? I mean, I guess you probably need to know what you're looking at, but
the first couple days, 100%. Everything I felt like was in Spanish, and so I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to fib this. And so I looked on the machine during this time, and I realized there's a number to call, and it was for like a service thing. Like if the machine ever breaks down, you call this number. So I called that number as soon as possible, and I was like, hey, this X-ray machine is broken. He was like, I don't understand. Like, I was just there last week to like register it and make sure it's all good to go. And I'm like, something happened. I'm going to need you to come down here ASAP. So the guy, he gave me a lesson on how to do every single X-ray will ever need to take.
Holy crap.
And then during that time, I've just been YouTubing like crazy. And believe it or not, YouTube is amazing when it comes down to just teaching you things. But you do not a lot of like MA work, just certain terminology. I've been in the medical field for quite some time. I have been beginning a lot of classes done, but at the same time just getting that certification to make sure you are certified. It's going to take me a little bit of time, but so far I'm enjoying it. They love me, and I realized that if I did not have the humor or like just playful antics with some of the patients, I would definitely be fired. Like they've said it numerous times. They've said it numerous times. You are an idiot, and I'm like, I know, but I'm excited to be here.
I told you, yeah. That's great.
Oh my God!
I love that. I mean, it's like everything is literally figure outable. That's kind of my favorite word.
Figure-outable.
I like that figure outable. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Artie, that's cool. That's a
100%.
good story.
Wow. Yeah.
Humor and humorous, like depending
There
on
are
which
times-
job you're
there
at.
There are times where the doctor will straight up ask me if an X-ray I took has cancer in it, and I don't have the urge to tell him that I don't even know where the bathrooms are. You think I'm going to know if this thing has cancer? I don't know. I just took 30 photos. This guy probably has cancer now. I don't know what to tell you. You know, you're over here asking me questions. I just started, asshole. I don't know.
Isn't that kind of the doctor's job to look? Because they kind of
it
look at
is,
the
but I'm
X-ray. Yeah.
I have a big
It is.
announcement. I have a big announcement. Cancer is funny, everybody. You can make fun of cancer. It's funny now. It's a lot of time has passed. AIDS ran its course, and now it's cancer, everybody.
It's that and the COVID. I feel like now you have people.
You have to
letting
joke
know-
about it. I mean,
It's just, it's like, hey, I got my second vaccination. Hey, look, I don't give a fuck. All right, I don't know why you're giving me. I don't really care. I'm not even supposed to be here right now. And you're asking, let's do it. Let's check your heart. Let's check your blood pressure. But you know what? Don't care.
that's what I loved about your podcast with Russell. Was like you were talking about how people come in and like, yeah, I got my second shot, and you're like, so, like, who cares? Like, why are you talking to me about that?
Exactly. It's like, guys, I don't even wipe properly. You think I'm gonna care about you getting your second vaccination? What, Johnson & Johnson? What? I don't care.
Shit, man.
It's just great. I hope he got it. Let's open some bars up and grab a beer. I don't know.
It's true.
Joe, you are so old.
I am.
I'm so glad you got the second vaccine already.
No, I literally, and Artie's not gonna care at all, which is why I'm gonna bring it up. I got it today at 2:45 p.m. Yeah,
That's awesome.
You got the card,
so
you're in.
I'm in, dude.
He's
and
in the club.
It's been so far, like, man, I had 5G with the first vaccine and the tracking device, and now I think my 10G is killing on the double.
Wow.
My iPad
It's times
is
2 now?
Yeah, I don't even need Wi-Fi anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, feeling
He's
good.
that wired,
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah, so just wanted to let you know. I know Artie doesn't care, but
I'm just saying, tomorrow you're probably gonna feel some symptoms. Your arm might even fall off. I
It
don't
could.
really know. I'm not
It
too
could.
sure.
it could. Yeah.
He's not a professional, so
We'll know by
don't take his
Thursday.
advice.
We'll know by Thursday with our guest Mario Caleri, everybody. That's going to be great.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah.
He
Might
was
have an arm.
he's the drummer for the was the drummer was the drummer for the Wallflowers there.
Yes.
And a million other people.
Yeah, but we are talking to Artie Lopez, and you have two of the most famous names almost in comedy. You have Artie Lang and you have George Lopez. How has that gone for you? I'm curious if anyone's brought that up.
I get more of I look like Artie Lang if he was Mexican. I get that quite a bit.
If he didn't have a fucked up nose, or
If he had if he had a nose left. Yeah.
You'd figure they would stop saying it, but no, every time, man, I get
Every
it every
time?
once in a
Oh,
while.
man.
Like they're just like, man, you look like you're out of shape and don't take care of yourself, and it's like I do, I don't. But
Well,
it's
isn't-
just
I mean, that's the whole comedy thing, right? It's just like, you shit on yourself the whole time, and you just try to make people laugh. Like,
Self-deprecating.
well, that's the
Exactly.
whole idea, is just to take yourself down a notch in the process of attacking the crowd and making them laugh all at the same. Like, there's a weird sort of like every comedian I feel like is a magician of your soul. Like, you can kind of magically turn something so dark into something so funny, like Superman,
Absolutely.
losing his legs, like losing the use of his like that's there's so many jokes about that, or I don't know. Even Louis C.K. has gone to dare 9/11 as a joke. I mean, like,
Right.
There's so many great minds out there. What has been who has blown you away as a comedian watching some other comedian on stage?
I would say definitely Bill Burr or Neil Brennan. You see these guys, and just like magicians, they have a bag of their own tricks and things they've been working on, and to see how fast they're able to just pull it out like it's nothing, or just a quick joke, or just quick-witted they are just in their mind. You don't mean to compare yourself, but you look at and you just see it like that's kind of like what it takes to be great. You got to be moving that fast. You got to be thinking of an exit plan. And be doing it on stage, and it's tough if a joke doesn't land to be able to bounce out of it and kind of like go after the crowd as if they have bad taste or something, and then to pull it back. And it's just like, man, that's awesome. To be able to have that kind of trick, it's like a superpower in itself. I wish I had that sometimes, even arguing or just even at work, but just having that ability to be like, hey, like, this person said you did this, we got to have a talk, and just being able to try to make a joke out of it really quickly and have them be like, you know what, don't worry about the talk, we'll talk about it later. And that in itself, I always see it as just, you got to have that gift of gab.
Gift of gab, yeah, absolutely.
I think comics, majority of comics have that ability, or even just personality that you're just like, you know what, you're an idiot, but we'll still keep you on the payroll.
Yeah, exactly. I've often attributed this phrase to my father, who was in radio for 50 years, interviewing people from Michael Jackson as a young 12-year-old to Karen Carpenter in her teenage years. And one of the things that I've always found fascinating was his art of conversation. And I think that's a good way of putting how interviewers can control a conversation. Is just there's an art to it. I mean, it was great to see you and Russ talk on the podcast, and that's great because we love watching comedians talk to each other and getting the dirt and getting the backstories and getting all those like stories that you would never think of bringing up in this, like in an interview like this. But there's like something to it where it's like a trait, kind of like hitting a baseball, or fielding or throwing or pitching. Like there's a certain talent to that. And
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's my art of conversation. I'm a little bit down on the ladder from my dad.
Too, where, it is a trait and a gift, but it's just one of those things where it's everybody has their own style and their own lingo of kind of pulling in their piece of the conversation. And I don't know what it is, but comics know how to read that moment where it's like, okay, this is my time to step in now. Let me one up you, or let me reiterate what you said. But like, it's just different perspectives on everything, and it's always about taste. And I just think that comics, I don't know what it is, but we just have that way of just trying different flavors out and seeing if you like it. And if not, don't worry. I get it sent back all the time. I'll reiterate and let me try here another way.
Wow.
It's just it's a beautiful talent, but I'm thankful, lucky to be where I'm at and have a lot of the comics that I'm hanging around, because they're just class clowns, and it's never a serious moment. And we're never there's some like bad times here and there, but it's like a band of brothers, and but it's just like a big, and there's tons of females, but it's like a close friendship that's like it's a weird bond. It's a weird bond. We're all like not all well too mentally. Some of us are just kind of way off, and you're just like, that guy's a crazy person.
Well,
but,
we're all kind of like we're all kind of. I mean, I think musicians and comedians are what's that? not kismet. It's
Kinship.
Kinship, yeah.
Yes.
Musicians and comedians, I think, need to have that rhythm. You know, they need to
100%.
have that, like you said, the gift of gab. And you know, like, has there ever been a show? I'm gonna switch to Joe after this, but I'm gonna ask you this: has there ever been a show where you were like, "Oh, that dude just blew it for the whole show"? Because I remember you mentioned on Russ's podcast that like the whole show is kind of like, it's not about you; it's about the whole show, right? Like it's
100%.
like it's not about your performance necessarily. It's like, well, was the crowd entertained?
Exactly.
And was there like one guy, no names, but one guy that was just like, oh fuck, like he just totally just messed it up? I'm just curious as a fan.
I think it's always tough to, with like other comics. Everybody like looks at everything differently. Since I like to produce a show as well, I kind of see I see it, you know, I kind of like from like a show producer standpoint. And it's happened to me when I first started out over at Levity. I did this guy's show, and I was like the opening. I was like the opener, and so the guy, I did such a horrible job. And I was such like really young and just like immature and kind of being like an eye guy, where it's just, I didn't have a good set. I should have done better. And I was just more like sulking. And I'll never forget, right after I got off stage, the headliner, you know, pulls me aside and he goes like, "Hey man, you know, even though you bombed, does not mean the show is over and everybody goes home. Like, they're still part of a show. And you're going to have to, you know, put out your face and smile, because even though you bombed, you're still gonna have to go outside and talk to these people and thank them for coming. But you got to be a team player, man. And there's other people that are also watching you when you get off stage, and they're about to go up and they're watching you like, oh, woe is me. They don't want to hear that shit. You know, they don't want to hear you crying about your horrible set. They want to be in a different mindset. So when you kind of come off crying, it's like you're not only taking away from the guy who booked you on the show, but you're taking away from people who paid to come watch you specifically, or just the show in general. And you just kind of, you know, be an amateur status with it. You'll never get booked on that show. And I've never been booked on that guy's show ever since. And even to this day, we'll cross each other's paths, and, you know, we'll shake each other's hand, and we have that respect. But I see it now where I got to make sure this guy sees, he doesn't see like that 21-year-old kid who was selfish and thought he could big time everything and was going to have a great show. And it's like, you got to have the same face, even if as if you did great.
Yeah, you have to kind of shake that the past you, because
100%.
I have a lot of past me's that I want to avoid. Joe, do you have any past yous?
How long is this show?
Sexy Joe, everybody.
Yeah,
we're gonna change his name from Sleepy Joe to Sexy Joe. Look at him, everybody.
I got promoted. Shit, I didn't see that coming. But
well,
I'll take
How
it.
come I don't get to be the sexy one?
You are the lovely one. You are the lovely
I don't want to be
Shayna.
lovely. I want to be sexy.
You
are
can
the
have
lovely.
my title.
Okay.
Can I go home now, or
You can-
I quit again?
okay.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I've been performing since I was a kid, and I got pelted with the candy on the first gig ever. And then from here to there, thinking back, like, you know, I've had to work really hard in front of 15 or 20 people and in front of 20,000 or more. Wow. And, you know, it just depends on the gig. But I love what Artie's saying is that, you know, you are a part of the entertainment experience.
Absolutely.
So I'm the lucky one. I'm realizing now, because comedy, I love it, but I would be so scared to have to do anything on my own.
Yeah.
You know, I got a band, right?
Right.
And I remember, like, I tripped one time and fell down. Not fell down. Well, I fell down. Yeah, I tripped on some stairs at the CBS early show, and I split my chin open.
Holy
like
crap.
12 minutes before we were going live. It was like 5 a.m. or something, and like, you know, there's like millions of viewers.
Oh my gosh.
And I, in front of the hottest intern, she was
Of
like,
course.
yeah, she was like a gazelle from some other planet. I like was carrying my guitars and like just literally caught a lip and fell down. And then I shook it off. I hit my hands really hard, but I was like, okay, I got this. I go on, and I was supposed to play a solo that John Mayer had actually played on the actual record.
Holy shit.
That was the new single for this thing that we were touring for this artist. And I blew it. I'm bleeding. My hands, I'm shooken up. I'm a dumbass in front of this girl that's like the hottest chick in New York, basically. And I blew it, and the band was mad at me. I mean,
no.
I blew it on national television.
Because
Even my
you
grandma
slipped?
was like, well, it was, I just threw myself off, you know?
Oh, okay.
But
that
even
was
my
your last
grandma,
time
she was
on-
like, that was not very good. Like, I feel like you can play better.
Grandma,
but
your
yeah.
grandma trashed you? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
She called me. I was like in the dressing room afterwards waiting for a ride to the airport, and she was like, that didn't sound so good.
You could have embarrassed her.
But man, like to let your team down, that's the worst feeling. But then for you having to get up there on your own and do it, but also know that you're either an opener or you're the closer, and you've got to like keep it all cohesive with all these other personalities. Like that blows my mind. I'm getting a better understanding of it now, of how many details there are.
Yeah.
Scares me. I'm out of that one.
You are out of that one. Goodness. Wow, that is quite a story, Joe.
Thanks.
Blood, we got violence, we got tripping, we got accidents,
Looking stupid on national television.
we've got
Yeah.
stupid.
I got
we've
like
got-
so much YouTube hate. They're like, that guitar player sucks. Like, I just quit looking at him. It wasn't even on my YouTube channel. I was like, oh shit, I'm just gonna stop reading it now.
Well, luckily, all the times I've bombed and embarrassed myself did not get recorded. so-
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything gets recorded when you're a
Yeah.
performer. You know?
Yeah. How do you feel about? This is an interesting question that I didn't plan on, but how do you feel about the cancel culture today? Do you think that is a step in the right direction? Do you think that is like something that ruins lives and careers? Do you think that is something that is like the new scarlet letter of the 2020s?
I see it as I mean, it could go either way. It could help. It could help your career. It could not. I've never been on that end of it. I kind of see it as it's tough nowadays. You have to kind of watch what you're saying, even what you're posting. I talk to Jake about it all the time. I hate it. I just think like some things. I get the frustration and the cry out for it, and like this needs to be stopped. I totally get that, but especially for comics getting a lot of backlash.
Yeah. Do you think comedy is off limits? Do you think that we should not be so? Well, not us, obviously, but society. Do you think they should lighten up for comedians in general? Like, I know there's actors and actresses and public figures and whatever they say should be on record, but for a comedian, it is totally
Exactly.
different.
Yeah.
When they are
Yeah.
trying to make something funny, like Ari Shaffir, he did the Kobe Bryant joke, and he had to, I think, spend like 6 months away from Twitter. It was a long time, and it
That
was just like
crazy effect.
wow, like wow, what a crazy world we live in today. I mean, like, and then Louis C.K. and all that. Yeah.
I think Ari Shaffir is probably not even like a fan of basketball either. So I just think like he just can't. It just kind of just spat out of his mouth. And some of these guys, it's like they don't have the education behind it of what really happened, or just and sometimes just taking a joke the wrong way. It's happened to Bill Burr like numerous times, and I just see it as he will never get canceled, but I know that
He's very careful.
there's a gray area, and you got to be careful of what you can play with, what you can't play with. It's tough. It's not easy. There's always someone watching. There's always someone listening, and even though they know, even if you're a comic and you say certain things. It's just it can come back to bite you in the butt.
I mean,
Just,
even Gina Carrero, who was in The Mandalorian, retweeted just something that was vaguely. I mean, it didn't really. I don't have it in front of me, but she got dropped by Disney because of that. Like,
Right.
it was a really big move for something that she didn't create, but she just shared. And I just
Exactly.
found that so abhorrent that you can just share something and then just get fired from a public company like Disney, where they're just so protective of their brand. They are the well, we all know where Disney came from. It was the anti-Semitic history of having black crows sound like another race.
exactly.
That was weird. That was wild stuff.
Well, we're not protective of our brand at all, as you
No,
can
we
tell.
don't have a brand. We just
No, 100%.
we are a
I just
bulldozer in
always-
the Ventura County.
I just I just think of like time and place, and if like even now we have like female comics talking about like some of their dating life, and that could be even taken the wrong way. And I just think it's crazy how some things just get taken out of context, or just taken the wrong way 100%, or even if that it's kind of crazy now what things are easily upsetting to other people, or could easily get you canceled. It's gnarly to me.
Yeah, we really have a a civil like like what is the correct term? It's a civil arrest, or like a citizen's arrest.
Citizens arrest, right?
It's kind of like everyone is just wanting to get the next person and be famous because of that. Like,
Or
there's
be a part of it somehow.
Yeah,
yeah.
but there are legitimate people. I don't want to discredit those people, but there are legitimate people that do have serious stuff to share that they don't know how to share that information to their friends, necessarily. Like, take it, for example, the Crystalia thing. You know, like, that was a major thing last year, and he took a complete year off and had a kid. And I'm just curious, have you ever had any run-ins with Chris? Like, I know I had a run-in at a show where
we tried booking him. He came down a couple times with Callan, and that was done at the Hong Kong Inn
Callan,
before they ended up changing out their restaurant name. But I just got a chance to watch the show, and I with that whole thing, it's just tough to tell. You don't know what's real, what's not real. I heard there was like an 82-page deposition, that was put out. And I mean, I don't have any kids either, so I don't know what it's like. Like, if somebody, and a lot of people are like, what if that was your child? I don't know what that would be like. And I don't know. I just see that something like that, it's taken a year for him to come back. I haven't seen, I know he just recently did a couple podcasts where he's kind of jamming out, but as far as stage time, I don't know when he's going to come back. I don't know if he's going to come back.
Yeah,
I would love to see him. I mean, just kind of jump out there and and hopefully he makes a comeback. But at the same time, you got to be careful about what you're sending out there, and it's just tough to see. It's tough when you got to make that climb back. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, that's a weird one, because the comedy it's so subjective.
Very subjective.
And I just recently went through like old Richard Pryor, dare I say it, old Cosby.
That's fine. He
that.
was
I
a
mean,
genius back in the
Rolling
early
in
80s.
Stitches, and now it's kind of
70s.
hard for me to watch it, but I watched it, like I used to watch it when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
Before all this stuff happened. So I kind of was watching that while I was on the road, and you know,
that's kind of a weird thing to look back on older specials of someone that is disgraced now.
like
it's just
Cosby or
a little weird.
Louis or any of those guys,
Yeah.
it's so subjective, but I really, it's a weird thing because like comedians can say stuff that like no one else can say, right? And then they say it in front of people, which is mind-boggling to me, right? If I said that stuff on a stage, which I'm on quite a bit, I would be like super fired. But I think, you know, like you can offend people verbally, but your actions, I feel like when your actions kind of go a certain way, it's different than your character or your bit a little bit. And then also people just need to like not tweet stuff. Like sometimes it's that simple. Just like shut the hell up. Like save it for the stage, man, you know?
Yeah.
And then also you got to just make good decisions. Yeah, you're going to offend people. Like all my favorite comedians offend me every time, and I love it because it makes me think, you know?
Yeah.
But the actions, I think a lot of that has a lot to do with getting canceled.
That's
in
a good
my
point.
opinion.
That's a good point. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to transition.
So,
this into
kind of
the next...
speaking of being offended.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Cool.
the lovely Shayna, everybody, saving me from a fucking segue. Here we go.
What did we do now, Shayna? How did we offend you this time?
No. I just wanted to say that you need to come out this Saturday to go see Artie and Jeremiah and some other great comedian and Jake Gallo.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And be offended, but in the very best way.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
We met Jeremiah at the beginning of the elbow shakes. We elbowed him.
That's right.
At the end of the show. At the end of the Kill Tony show, and we said,
that's a great memory, Bryan.
we would love to, I have selective memory.
Yes. Jeremiah was your first elbow.
He was my first elbow, everybody. Jeremiah Watkins.
So yesterday I got
hold on. The one and only who sang the only song entitled I Love You. I don't know if you're familiar with that song, Artie, but he Jeremiah Watkins has a song called I think it's I Need You. I'm sorry. It's I Need You. And we're going to play that right now, just a small taste so we don't get copyright strikes. But we are going to here's Jeremiah singing I Love You.
I need you.
I need you. Sorry. Yeah, I need you.
I love you and I need you.
I love you and I need you.
I long for your warm embrace, the caress of your face. Just work.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this song. This is a great song. I hope he plays this on your show because he has the voice of an angel, and I'm scared people won't know about him because this performance, I'm getting choked up.
You okay, man?
I need you, Jeremiah. Why did you go to podcast? Oh, he's so great, though. Okay. But speaking of great, we got the greatest thing of all is you are going to be this weekend at Gigi's in Ventura, Saturday, May 1st. Everybody.
What time does that show start?
What time does it start?
7:30 p.m.
There we go.
7:30 p.m. It's a free comedy show. We try to
can't beat that.
Try to make that presentable for everybody. I know times are tough during COVID, and we're just gonna try to do this, see how it goes, and we're stoked, man. We're hopefully everybody come out this Saturday, May 1st. Jeremiah Watkins, 7:30.
Cool.
Gigi's Cocktail Lounge.
There you go, everybody. Wow.
And don't forget to tune in and hear Artie on the Blunt Boys podcast and the Morning Sickness podcast with local comedian Jake Gallo.
Blunt Boys is a new podcast, yes. I believe, and that is they don't necessarily focus on smoking blunts the whole time.
Thank God.
It is
blunt conversation.
It's a blunt conversation.
I see what you did
everybody.
there. I see that.
Yes.
It's a trickster. Nice. It's a word trickster, everybody.
Yes. So you can hear both of those on iTunes and Spotify. So go check Artie out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Artie, so much for being on the show tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
We appreciate you so much. And you are a connection champion in the Ventura County area for all comedians. And we absolutely appreciate everything that you're doing for and by the local community of Ventura County to get everyone together, especially, Russell, Jake, just everybody that's out here wanting to just entertain people. And we just thank you so much for doing that, and you're the up and coming rock star that we're going to be watching out for, and we hope to have back again.
Absolutely, man. You guys rock. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much,
brother.
Artie. We'll
Enjoy
check you
this.
later.
You guys be good.
Shayna, what do you got coming up on the next few episodes here?
Well, I'm going to be putting out our schedule for May, which is booked with some huge guests. But we have a huge guest also on Thursday, the last episode of the month. We do. We've got 3-time Grammy winner, an amazing drummer, and local funny guy. He's not a comedian. He's a musician.
He's really funny, though.
We've got Mario
Really
Caleri joining us.
Yeah, Mario Caleri. And Joe's really excited for this one.
I am.
He's
I go way back with that guy. I was a kid, doing a gig with him. We'll save it for the story, but I was like, oh my God. And then I was little and I said stupid shit that he worded me up on, and it was really cool.
Nice. So we'll have to talk about that on Thursday.
And there is a possibility that someone else could be joining us that's kind of connected with Mario. That's also in the drummer game. But also does a lot of
what's his name?
Really I don't want to give it away because I haven't.
So we'll have a surprise on
Yeah,
Thursday.
his manager hasn't gotten back to me, but it could be really cool. But either ways, even if he doesn't show up, Mario Caleri is one of the greatest drummers on the planet and one of the coolest dudes and one of the grooviest, funniest people I've ever met. I can just listen to him play drums all day. I can't afford that. It's expensive.
That's expensive to listen to Mario.
But just drums alone, I'd be good all day long.
Wow, that's great. Wow. Okay.
I'm excited.
So
Shayna.
So guys,
what else we got?
I have to comment on something.
Oh,
so
no.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been kind of sitting a little bit different on
Why are you
today's
sitting
episode.
different?
Well,
This is weird.
I'll point out the
Wait a minute.
I'll point out the elephant in the room, but
There's an elephant in here?
well,
There's no space for an elephant in this room.
I got a giant zit, and I've been trying to hide behind the mic. Yeah. You don't get zits at my age, and it's just some weird thing that happened. But
You're fine.
been trying to hide behind the mic, so
Didn't
if
know
I
it.
looked weird, I just wanted to put that out there.
I thought it was the
I
chair
thought-
you're sitting in. I thought you got a new chair.
No?
I didn't even notice.
Oh, good, good.
Nope, nothing.
So
Jeez.
Joe, you're kind of hiding a little bit the shirt that you're wearing.
yeah.
What's
Kinda
going on with
shows-
that? What's going on with that shirt, Joe?
Yeah, we got to give a free.
No free shirts.
No free shirts.
Retract.
I messed up. Yeah. No, this is a rad sweatshirt
Sweatshirt, yeah.
from the Free Love
How are
Project.
you not
and
hot in this room? There's so
I
many,
am burning up.
So many accessories.
Where
Hold
did you
on.
get that shirt, Joe?
I got this at the local shop.
Nice.
Yeah. And
What?
this is the Free Love one. I don't know if you can see it in the camera.
Oh, there you go. Yep. There you go.
That looks great.
That's the logo that Artie Artisan,
That's right.
Artisini,
Yeah, it's-
you never
designed.
get his name right.
I don't want to. I say artisan like it's my last name. I don't know why. It's just We love Artie.
It's a cool logo. It's a cool logo.
Yeah, look at that.
And
It's really cool.
yeah.
It's really beachy, really Ventura-y.
yeah, so speaking of Artie,
really
this is
cool.
this is kind of a funny thing, but so we originally had Artie booked for the show today,
Right,
and he needed to reschedule,
Mm-hmm.
and so we ended up booking another Artie, an Artie.
RT instead of RD.
Instead of
Oh
an Artie.
my!
Isn't that funny?
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. But so no, Artie's gonna
Ladies
be
and
coming
gentlemen,
on
the
in
lovely
about
Shayna, everybody.
2 weeks.
The lovely Shayna, 2 weeks in a row, hitting grand slams with the damn puns and segues. We cannot handle it here at the local show.
I love those puns.
It is. Whoops, we are not on the right one. It is really the bread and butter of this podcast. And we hope to bring the bread and butter out to you locally in the future with some live shows. We've been talking about some live shows. We might have some kind of... I don't want to give away too much.
We're actually going to be doing our.
Shayna's going to be give it. She's going to give it away now.
Yes. Thanks, Anthony Kiedis.
Wrong thing again. Our producer, everybody.
So we don't have an exact date yet because they're still under construction, but we're going to be doing our first live broadcast over at the garage in Ventura.
Damn.
So they've got new owners. They're revamping everything, and as soon as they're ready, we're gonna do a show there. We're gonna kind of help kick off their grand opening and play some music, have some fun. So that's something to look forward to. Probably going to be more like June for that. But that's going to be our first live show. And we've got a couple others in the works too. We'll be announcing.
That's going to be great. Yeah. And we have no idea the format of the live show.
Oh, it's going to be horrible.
So it's going to be...
We're going to lose our minds.
No,
it'll be funny.
The worst show that you've ever seen, aside from...
It'll be just like this one.
But at a bar. That's the part I'm worried
That's the
about.
part I'm excited about. Is seeing all the drunk people. I want to see people drinking and getting messed up to our jokes, so I know that we are more funny than we actually are.
Does that mean I have to write jokes, or can I just?
No, you just be you, Joe.
You just show up.
Joe, you show up.
That's what I do.
We don't plan anything
love that
out
you
here.
show up.
Sorry, Mom.
No, we
I
love.
apologize in advance.
We cannot do this show without Joe.
No, you totally could.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't.
You're the secret sauce, Joe.
Yeah.
He has the Taco Bell sauce worth $1 a packet. Everybody, look at that turnaround! Oh my God! Okay, so
Del Taco.
We are gonna wrap it up because we didn't take a break. But yeah, Free Love Project, everybody. Hell
Project.
yeah! Look at the comments on Facebook. There we go. We appreciate all the local support that we've been getting the last 14 episodes. And please, we didn't mention this at the beginning, but if you can, please subscribe to YouTube. We're trying to get up to maybe 50 subscribers, just like a little...
50? We want 1,000.
Well, hold on. Hold your horses, lady. You
gotta think big, Bryan.
Well, I'm not thinking big right now because we are just wrapping this up right now. So this is...
So you got some music to play us out tonight?
Yes, I do. And this is not the right song, but we are going to play some
of the Mint Dolphin.
Hey, everybody. We're going to play some more Mint Dolphin, everybody. And if you don't know who Mint Dolphin is, you got to go up to Santa Barbara and check them out. Or when they come down here, they got the lead singer has a great voice. I love his voice.
Really interesting. Wow, this is great.
Yeah, it's a really good track. We don't want to get more copyright strikes. We had to dispute one.
We're all good. We know their management, so we're all good.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But this makes me just want to go like do the Carlton, Yeah.
That's good. It's fun.
It's fun. And you know what's this fun? This show, because you're going to catch us this Thursday.
This Thursday.
Sorry, everybody. This Thursday, everybody, with our next guest, Mario Caleri. the drummer for the Wallflowers, and just all around amazing dude. I met him about a year and a half ago, and he is fascinating to talk to. And he has an amazing Instagram that we're going to share. So check that episode out. All right? Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.